You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss.
Live from Smitty1.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Take a lap.
What is going on, good people? You are watching the Fantasy Football Show. I'm your man, Smitty, and we've got some NFL news to go over. Maybe some sleeper talk. I got a little wide receiver gem that you may want to grab. We hit 11K on the YouTube channel. 11K. Can I get an applause in the studio? 11K. You guys did this. I work for you. So congratulations to everybody out there. It's time to get to the news, people.
And now, for the news.
Currently in the news today, let's break it all down right now. Not a lot of big pieces of news, but there's a little bit to go over. First of all, I want to kick this off because not everybody sees every video I do. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but Jeff Legwold from ESPN believes that Javonte Williams, he believes, okay? So back up off spreading this news report around. Actually, no, keep continuing to spread it around because it just knocks Javonte's value down even further. I actually love it. So please tell everyone you know about this report. DM it, text it, telegram it, snail mail it, Morse code it. Tell it to everybody that you see that Javonte Williams, there's belief that he could see just slightly more carries in 2022. Spread the word, please. I love this. This is Nyheim Hines. Melvin Gordon is to Javonte Williams as Nyheim Hines last year was to JT. And if you don't think that's true, that's fine. I'm actually glad. I love that people are so easy to suggest that they knew better back in 2021 when people said, oh, Nyheim Hines is going to take away all of JT's PPR work. And then people say now it's so different. Hines is nothing. Of course he's nothing to you now. Hindsight's always 2020. But everyone let Nyheim Hines hold back JT. And guess what? It's going to happen again. We're seeing Javonte Williams in redraft. Not so much in Dynasty. In Dynasty, he's still going like top 5 or 6. That could drop to like 7 or 8. Who knows? But in redraft, this man is falling all the way down to 15 to 24 overall on the average. And I've got a big grin from ear to ear. So should all of you. Let's let it happen. Just sit back and let it happen. That's what I'm going to tell you. Let people, get all crazy. It's fine. Chris Olave, NBC Sports. Peter King reports multiple NFL GMs, are saying Chris Olave was the most NFL-ready wide receiver in the 2020 draft class. I don't know how they can say that. I like him, but there's a lot to be desired when you watch his film. I think there's definitely some upside for sure, but calling him the most NFL-ready wide receiver, basically what I would do is I'd find out who these multiple NFL general managers are and make sure you're not listening to what they say, because it's one thing to be excited about him. It's another to call him the most NFL ready. He's not. Treylon Burks feels more NFL ready. I think Garrett Wilson's much more NFL ready. I think Chris Olave could be very good, but he's also got that like Jalen Reagor, and maybe he's a good wide receiver or Jalen Reagor. We don't really know. He feels like he probably could be. Maybe he's Waddle. Maybe he's Reagor. But I certainly would not coin him as the most NFL ready. I wouldn't even say he's in the top 2. I would say you're hard pressed to call him the third best NFL ready wide receiver. Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, these guys are much more NFL ready in my opinion. Then Drake London is probably second or third for the most NFL ready wide receiver. This report is take a look. Okay, so here's a piece of news that I think is going to trigger a Smitty rant. I think we're going to trigger a Smitty rant here. Do I even have a rant? Yeah, I do.
Time for a Smitty rant.
I don't know if this will make me angry, but I certainly think it might get me excited. This kid, Justin Ross, needs to be targeted in the late second round. Early second round is fine with me too. I don't care. This kid right here might be the wide receiver gem of the entire wide receiver draft class. I'm not saying that he's a lock to be the top wide receiver. I know a lot of you Sky Moore fans are probably going, well, wait a minute, you have the wrong graphic up, Smitty. You have the Justin Ross graphic up, not the Sky Moore graphic. I'm not saying he's a lock by any means. Dude could get cut. Probably not. He looks really good. Anything can happen. But this kid, if you're talking about you want a home run, big swing. You could big swing and a miss. You could miss really hardcore. You could strike out. Know that. Sky Moore's the potential monster that landed in Kansas City. Make no mistake about it. But this kid right here is electric. And I'm real excited about Justin Ross. The Athletic is reporting now. The Athletic, sometimes they'll throw stuff out that I don't agree with more often than not, but I do agree with this one. Wide receiver Justin Ross could be a good fit because he can't be overthrown. That's just a small statement. I wanted to come in here and tell you that this kid has magic to him. This kid could be special. And my rant is really not around Justin Ross as much as it is around reach for your guy in a rookie draft. So mid-second to early third round, if you think you can get away with not taking Ross in round 2 at all, and you take him in the third round, some people say third or fourth round, that's fine. You know, get away with what you can get away with. But my problem with people saying you're reaching on this player in the second round of a rookie-only draft, you're reaching at the top of round 3, you're reaching in the middle of round 2 for Kyron Williams. Why are you doing that? Why would you take Kyron Williams at 14? So my rant isn't really around Justin Ross. It's around sleepers. It's around, where's my Kyron Williams graphic? Where's Kyron Williams? Kyron, where are you, pal? Where are you, Kyron? It's somewhere around here. I know I have it somewhere. Let me just pull it up. Kyron Williams is a player that I'm grabbing in the middle of the second round. I'm not waiting. I will grab him in the middle of the second round. I don't care. People just think that because like a really detailed ADP data or a very versed group of dynasty drafters that tell you Kyron Williams is a third rounder or that Justin Ross is a third or fourth rounder, and then when they tell you you're reaching, my answer to you is, do you play with the most elite of the elite dynasty scouters and fantasy football owners, or do you have a couple fantasy Karens in your league that don't know what time it is and don't know rookie ADP? Because guess what happens when you get to the third round, the top of the third round, and you've got a little insider, you got a nugget on a player like Kyron Williams, and then somebody just heard about him and just drafts him out of place. People don't know ADP, rookie only ADP data deep into a rookie draft. So stop trying to use rookie ADP data. Grab your guy. I'll grab anybody after the top 13. Anybody. I don't care if they're a fourth round player. If they're my guy, I'll take them in mid round 2, just so somebody doesn't get cute. You can't apply this to the first round of a rookie only draft because everybody and their mother has a good feel of what the first round ADP data is going to be. But once you get to like mid round 2, it's free for all. You grab your player. Don't wait around. Don't try and push it or push the limits to getting the guy at the max value. A second rounder is nothing. A mid second rounder is nothing. You could get a mid second rounder from somebody that doesn't have room to cut anybody. Give up next year's second rounder and a third rounder. They'll trade you their mid second rounder. Like Kyron Williams, even Justin Ross, and Algier, my boy Tyler Algier from Atlanta. These guys, grab them in round 2. Don't wait. If you like them, grab them. That's my rant. It's not just about Ross. It's not just about Williams. It's about stop using rookie ADP. Doesn't matter. Appreciate everybody being here. First in the building was Axe. I appreciate you being here. Mario. We've got 49er. We got Robert. What's up, Robert? What's up, Mealy? What's up, Adam? What's up, James? What's up, Philip? What's up, Michael K. CPA, who's the highest super chatter of the year in a single live stream with $199. We're basically wondering who's going to knock Michael K. CPA off the top spot because he's been sitting there for, I think, a couple weeks now. So if anybody wants their name in the corner of every live stream, essentially, you just got to knock off Michael K. CPA to get that spot. Appreciate every single one of you in here today. Next piece of news. Let's see what we got here. This is another Chief. Isaiah Pacheco. Another second to third round potential gem. Maybe strike out and miss. Like, these are not guys that are going to be for sure locks. That's why you're grabbing them in the second and third round, people. So I'm gonna say this guy right here has a real strong shot at starting a game or two or more in 2022. Clyde's not exactly the model of staying healthy and playing a full season. I do like Clyde a lot this year, given he costs you like 6-7 round value. Like, I know you're upset about Clyde. I am too. Clyde is not delivered, but you can't hold that against his newfound ADP and value, which is 6-7 round range. But Pacheco can be cuffed to him. Maybe Pacheco doesn't ever see the field. I'm just saying this kid's got enough potential upside and appeal and skill set to maybe get a hold of some carries at some point through injury, through whatever. And so you want to make sure you keep an eye on him at least, or grab him in Dynasty Leagues. Dynasty Leagues consume pretty much every decent and valid player, so he's going to get picked. It's a matter of, do you let someone else grab him before you do? So I like this. I like this kid. Next piece of news, Alec Pierce. He's kind of a well-liked player amongst, dynasty fantasy circles. A lot of people like this kid. Projected to be the starting Z receiver for the Colts. This is good. It means he'll be force-fed early. He'll be thrown to the fire and have to respond and mature quickly. And there's a lot of upside with him. He's one of those guys that could grab a hold of, like, later in the year, like, decent wide receiver 3-4 value in fantasy, even as a rookie. So keep an eye on Alec. Keep an eye on him. This right here, Trubisky. Albert Breer reports that $12 million of Mitchell Trubisky's 2-year, $26 million contract is tied to playing time and playoff incentives. Essentially meaning that Trubisky is looking at a very strong possibility he doesn't get paid in 2022. I mean, Pickett's going to get in there at some point. I wish they would have taken Malik Willis. I don't care what people say about Malik Willis. Malik Willis may not have as good a career as I had hoped he would have, because I thought he was tailor-made for Pittsburgh. I never dreamed that he would fall to 20 overall to be taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Furthermore, I never dreamed that they would pass on him. And then he would continue to be passed on over and over and over. I absolutely loved the fit between Malik Willis and the Pittsburgh Steelers. His cannon of an arm, his raw talent surrounded by talent to help him mature. I just thought it was a great fit. Now, Pickett could be good. I'm not necessarily writing him off or calling him a bust, but I certainly don't feel like Trubisky's going to be this comeback story. He could. I mean, I'm rooting for him too. I see Mr. B's rooting for him. A lot of you are rooting for him. Kenny says he's a backup. Tough to say, man. I'm not gonna say he can't rejuvenate his career in Pittsburgh. It's a very nice offense, essentially. I know they're working on the offensive line, but if Trubisky can throw the football still, if people are correct, some people are correct about his abilities being held back in Chicago and just never being utilized properly by the coaching staffs that have had a grip on this kid, it makes me feel like there's a possible, like, oversight across the board for everybody, a stigma that's been slapped on him, a label, an unfair characterization of his talents. Maybe there's something here. I will say that in my 20 years professional years doing this, you rarely see a quarterback get this deep into a career and there be so much oversight on his talent and ability and the player being misused that they're able to snap back into some elite player. We've seen players like Kurt Warner get overlooked and then come in and ball out. The problem is we don't see very many of these scenarios where the player's actually in the NFL, failing in the NFL, completely written off, labeled by almost everyone, and then we're being told by a select few and then the team that grabs them that this guy actually has it and we're going to see it, guys. Get ready. It's been very rare that we've ever, if ever, to the degree that people are trying to paint this picture and how it's going to turn out. We haven't really seen it, If it would be one thing if he was completely passed over and then this was his first shot, like Trubisky, maybe. Mike White, I love Mike White. The problem is, Saul, nobody else does. Nobody else does. Mike White's a baller. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers were smart, and I thought they were, they would have traded for Mike White, who would have cost peanuts. He would have cost chump change. You could have acquired Mike White. And maybe you acquire him, and if he doesn't work out, you put Trubisky or whoever you want in there, the Pickett kid. But Mike White should have been acquired. He's a good talent. Tyler Huntley should have been acquired. The two best quarterbacks that are not in starting jobs right now in the NFL are Tyler Huntley in Baltimore and Mike White in New York. But Mike White could be a savior if something happens, to Zach Wilson. So it could end up being a good thing for the Jets. But I don't know. I wish he was in a starting role, Mike White. 51 people in here, only 24 likes. We just hit 11K because of all of us, says Terry Roberts. That's true. Terry's on the loose.
Terry, he's scary. Terry's on patrol. Terry's on patrol.
Appreciate you being on patrol today, Terry. That's it. It's time for, thanks again, Michael K. CPA, for being such an amazing super chatter. Thank you, all of you, for helping us get to 11K. Again, I work for you. Let's hit the
It's voicemail time. Drop a voicemail at the Fantasy Football Show on the gram. Tell your grandma.
He'll punch you in the throat.
we are talking foosball. Drop your voice messages in the voicemail group. This is the Bruce. The Bruce is on the voicemail line.
The Bruce is loose.
Want bold year-round rankings, trade calculators, and bold predictions?
Whoops. Bruce.
My question is, what is Matt Ryan's value in fantasy this year, going from Atlanta to Indianapolis?
Matt Ryan's value, the Bruce, is probably somewhere along the lines of what it was last year. Maybe he's got a little bit more value. But that puts him at, like, borderline fantasy starter material. Like, if you're starting Matt Ryan, you're not happy about it. You might get decent points, but he's not a crafty-looking play, but he'll be, like, 8 to 12. So, yeah.
Also, we know what Justin Jefferson's value.
I'm gonna say this guy right here.
The Bruce, what are you doing, bro? You got to turn down me. I'm hearing too much of me while I'm answering your...
Also, we know what Justin Jefferson's value.
I'm gonna say this guy right here.
I don't even know what's going on, Bruce. Jim.
Hey, Smitty. It may be a little too early to answer this question, but which quarterback in Pittsburgh gives their wide receivers the best chance at fantasy value? Is it Kenny Pickett or is it Mitch Trubisky?
I mean, while I want to say Pickett, if we're wrong about Trubisky, that would obviously be the most ideal of situations, right? If we're wrong about Mitch Trubisky and he balls out, that's your number one, like, avenue, but it's probably very, very unlikely. So Pickett's probably the best option in the end because he's the better quarterback. But if you want explosion, if you want Deontay and Claypool and Pickens to do really well, you need Trubisky to be the truth and everybody to have been completely wrong about him, and he needs to be a baller. Because Pickett's not coming in as a rookie and delivering the football, facilitating it to all of these weapons evenly and consistently. There are a lot of Deontay believers out there. The moment the moment Big Ben hung it up, that's the moment that Deontay's value tanked. And I'm not saying it can't ever, get back to very, very solid value, but if you think Deontay is going to be consistent with a quarterback carousel and Pickett as a rookie learning the game, the offensive line still working on some things, I think you're going to be pretty disappointed. Now, Trubisky's a baller. He comes in, he's like some kind of pro bowler, which I'm telling you, I don't feel it can happen. Anything can happen. Kurt Warner was laughed at. I'm just saying, it could happen. Probably not going to happen. Probably not. But if it did, then Deontay would be reborn right in front of our very eyes. Right in front of our very eyes. But I don't know that we're going to see that happen. Jim.
I have a dynasty question for you, Smitty, about Jalen Hurts. This is obviously a big year for him in Philadelphia. I feel like it's a make or break year, and with the addition of A.J. Brown, I feel like they're going to let him throw the ball a little bit, but I feel like the best success the Eagles had was running the ball. So in dynasty, what is Jalen Hurts' value now with the addition of A.J. Brown? Do you see him in Philly long term, or do you see him kind of moving around?
We don't really know the answer to that because Jalen Hurts is not believed in by his team, which is a shame because this man has a lot of talent and upside. And fantasy worlds are very similar. Although, ever since he acquired A.J. Brown, the Jalen Hurts is a trash can statements that we usually see, they kind of went away. I don't see anybody ripping on Jalen Hurts. Where are all the Jalen Hurts bashers right now? Because they're awfully quiet. They would fill up the chat constantly, and now I don't see them at all. So I'm going to say that Hurts, in my opinion, and my opinion's different than what will really play out, because guess what? This coaching staff, especially the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff, no matter if it's Doug Peterson or Sirianni, it doesn't seem to matter, and the ownership and the way they draft. And yeah, they made a good move. They drafted Javonte Smith. They finally nailed the wide receiver position after passing on Justin Jefferson and drafting Rager. If you watch the Vikings when they made the selection, or when Rager was taken right before the Vikings thought they lost Justin Jefferson. And when when the Eagles took Rager, the draft room was laughing. They're like, they took Rager. We got Jefferson. And they're like, woo! They were so pumped. This Eagles organization is a debacle in some ways. However, they've got the pieces in place. They just need to know how to utilize them. They need to know how to trust them. They need to put all their faith into Jalen Hurts publicly and behind the scenes, because guess what? A lot of the panic and confidence that he needs comes from how he feels he's viewed. Because yeah, maybe he can overcome a lot of like pressure and doubt and all that. Like, he seems like the kind of guy that can, and I love his confidence, but it's going to go a long way to additionally have your team supporting you in public. Like back last year, I believe it was Joe Flacco, or I forget who the backup was. It was a garbage backup quarterback that was behind Jalen Hurts. And Sirianni, when he came in, we thought, okay, Doug Peterson's gone, Sirianni's going to be the real deal. Not that he's a great prospective coach or whatever, but you thought, okay, one of the reasons Peterson was gone, other than he didn't get along with ownership, was because he botched the quarterback situation. He benched Jalen Hurts after 2 phenomenal starts during his rookie year. I believe they were back-to-back 300-yard games. And he looked great for a rookie. And then and then Doug Peterson benched him in his 3rd game. He started off bad and benched him in the middle of the game after 2 amazing rookie starts. So they remove Peterson. They bring in Sirianni. And what does Sirianni say when they say, who's your starting quarterback? And we're like, we've got a guy in there that's going to support Hurts. And what does he say? He says, we don't have a starting quarterback yet. It's going to be a competition. And it was like Flacco or somebody. It was maybe worse than Flacco behind Jalen Hurts. It was basically like saying there's a Rock and Jalen Hurts. Who's your starting quarterback? We don't know yet. The Rock might have something to say about that. And I mean not the Rock like Dwayne Johnson. I mean like a physical rock or a brick wall. That's who this man, Jalen Hurts, was facing in competition last year for the job. And Sirianni and the team couldn't even verbalize it. Yeah, we like this man. Hurts could ball. I don't have the answer. I don't know if this team's going to pull the plug in some dumb fashion during the middle of the year when this guy has one bad game or something. But I will say this. I believe in the talent. I believe that Jalen Hurts could ball. I believe Jalen Hurts could be a top 5, 6, 7 quarterback in fantasy football in 2022. I think A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who is very undervalued right now in Dynasty, go attack Devontae Smith and Goddard. And then you got the running back rotation. Miles Sanders did fairly well last year. I believe they throw a lot more than people predict. Hurts is going to be absolutely bonkers in 2022. And you know what people are going to say? A lot of backtracking type comments like, well, he has no excuses now. I hate that phrase. as it relates to Jalen Hurts. He has no excuses now. This is the final straw. It was his first year last year starting a full season. And now we're at the point where someone said so many dumb comments about Jalen Hurts being garbage that they have to come up with something negative still, because they have to try and explain why they were so down on him for a whole season during his first rookie year where he played second year, first year starting, where he played pretty darn well. From a fantasy perspective, he dropped some nice numbers. I know there were some inconsistencies, a lot of short passes. Check down Hurts is what they call him now. All short little guess what? AJ Brown's in town. And the only thing Jalen Hurts haters have to say is, well, now he's got no excuses. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you, by that statement, by me saying that Jalen Hurts now has no excuses, is me weaseling my way out of my former stance by saying it's such a good opportunity. He's going to prove me wrong, but I won't be wrong because the opportunity's so good now. He has no excuses. I'm trying to tell you that I think it's going to work out without me admitting I was wrong. That's my psychological breakdown. Your boy Smitty's got a psych degree for a reason. Is to break this kind of stuff down on the show. Robert, you can DM me. Are you in any of the voicemail groups? DM me the photo.
I have a dynasty question for you,
Okay.
Smitty.
We know what Justin Jefferson's value is. What is Adam Thielen's this year?
It's a good question, the Bruce. I'd probably say we just don't know. I wish I could tell you that Thielen feels like that I'm feeling Thielen. I'm just not feeling Thielen right now. He's not like an older player. He's not a young player. He's not like an old man that's already fallen off. But like, I would say he's a value as like a wide receiver 3. I don't think you got to draft him as a wide receiver 2. So come to think of it, I don't think he's going to be a bad deal. He'll be kind of a bargain. If you can get him as a wide receiver 3, why not try it? Why not try it? I'm all about that. That's fine with me. Kenny.
Hey, Smitty, what do you make of Dylan this year as an RB2 option?
I like him if your plan of attack, Kenny, is waiting on your RB2. So AJ Dillon is a fantastic wait on an RB2 prospect. So like, meaning you're going wide receiver, let's say you go JT let's say you go Jamar Chase, Javonte Williams, DK Metcalf, Waddle, Hurts, and you literally just have Javonte, but you're stacked everywhere. AJ Dillon, Tony Pollard, combo of those guys as your platoon running back 2. That's that right there. That right there.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Absolutely love that approach for an AJ Dillon spot, Kenny.
Also, with this running back signing in KC, how does this affect Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
You talking about the Pacheco? No, he's just a backup. One thing you got to keep in mind, as much as I'm saying keep an eye on Pacheco, that KC playbook is the size of the Bruce's brain. It is massive. And it's going to take Pacheco and every other player, including Ronald Jones, who everybody seems to want to say is the starter in KC already. It's going to take these guys a long time. Clyde's got a huge leg up. So Clyde's the guy to invest in, to be frank with you, the Bruce.
Hey, Smitty, here's a bold take. 3 receivers from
Rock
the
out.
NFC East will be in the top 10. Lamb, McLaurin, and A.J. Brown. What do you think?
I mean, I can Smitty approve that. I don't think that's that bold. I think McLaurin's the only one that may slip out, but like I mean, those guys belong in the top 10 when you just like spitball in the top 10. So I'm thinking you could come with a little bolder take than that, but McLaurin will be the one that we worry about getting into the top 10. But I like it. I like it. Rock out. I think I want something bold to rock out. Come back, circle back, and give me a bold prediction rock out. I want something that makes me get up from my seat, bro.
Hey, Schmitty, it's Daniel. Hoping you're having a good Monday, man.
Daniel.
I'm thinking of trading in Dynasty Stephon Diggs for Leonard Fournette in the 2023 first. And then I got another owner that wants to give me Jalen Waddle for Leonard Fournette. So it's kind of like a three-way deal, but not really a three-way deal. So just let me know your thoughts on that. And yeah, hope everything else is going good, man. Keep up the great work.
So, okay, so let me address the first part. I'm going to say get Waddle in the first rounder for Diggs. Home run. Home run. I would have, though, if you'd not told me that, I would have been like, I don't think I'd trade Diggs for Fournette and a first unless the first is potentially a really high first rounder. If it's going to be a late first rounder, my thinking is like, let's say it's at 10 or 11 or 12. I don't want Fournette, you know, but you can turn Fournette into Waddle. And I like Waddle in Dynasty as much as Diggs, if not maybe like quietly more. Like, I don't think I'd take Waddle above Diggs, but I'd trade down to get Waddle. So home run. Make sure you can line up both of them though, because I'd hate to see you do the trade and then the guy doesn't want to give you Waddle anymore. But I love that, bro. I love, like, what you're doing at the end of it all is fantastic. A first rounder. I am curious to know where the first round pick is, though.
What's going on? I'm currently on the treadmill, so pardon that if that sounds weird. Basically, I'm listening to you're talking about Jalen Hurts right now.
Yes, sir.
And I agree, basically. He's kind of doubted, and then people will put up and say, oh, he has good receivers if he does do well. But what's the main difference between him and Tua? Because I know everyone hates on Tua. I like to hate on him, even if it's sometimes just jokingly. But then I know you kind of like hate on him a little bit too, and then
I do
get his receivers there. What if I think he's in a pretty similar situation? You think that like if his receivers do well, people might just give it the credit to the receivers. I don't know. What's the difference between those two?
I mean, Cade's playing a little gotcha. I think on that treadmill, Caden's getting a little, his blood pressure's pumping. He's getting a little excited. He's trying to push Smitty's limits. He's trying to catch me, and he kind of did. Like, you could say Tua not given a proper shot is the same as Hurts not given a proper shot. Both of them now still get a shot, and both of them have electric wide receiver rooms. Very similar. The only thing I'm going to say about Tua versus Hurts is that it's eye test for me. In the end, you can't really get me, and I know you're not trying to get me. I'm kind of joking with you, Caden, but because it's my eye test, it's my gut, and I don't care about numbers or what other people say. Like, it's similar. It is very similar on its face. I'll admit that, but I don't think Tua's got it. I don't think Tua's got. Yeah, he's in a perfect position to take laps. In fact, since you're on a treadmill, bro, just because, let's have you take a lap. Let's have you take a lap.
Take a lap. Take a lap. Take a lap.
You're already doing it.
Take a lap.
But I would say Tua to me feels like a bigger bet to fail, but like still upside. Like, I'm not predicting Tua will bust. I'm saying I feel very, very cautious about it because the talent. You're right. I mean, you're right, Caden. The talent's there to make Tua. He could survive this. Whereas if he didn't have like Hill, he just had Waddle and only Waddle, and he didn't have McDaniel's mind, who's an offensive genius, I think Tua would have failed very quickly. Do I think McDaniel can stretch him out for 2-3 years? Like, there have been worse quarterbacks than Tua that remained in command of pretty decent teams. So he very, very well could remain in the mix. Tua may not just vanish right away. But I'm definitely more on the Hurts train than I am the Tua train. Ash.
Hey, Smitty, locked in from the UK. I just want to reach out about Trey Lance and Jimmy G's situation. Do you think Jimmy G staying in San Fran hurts Lance and his stock in fantasy? Because, you know, you do feel that if at any minute it kind of seems to go south with Lance, they'll just stick Jimmy in. Because they're in win now mode, and, you know, Lance will need a bit of time to like gel in.
I don't know that he's going to need time. I think that when people make that statement, they forget that Burrow was in the exact same spot. Like, Maybe, yeah, Burrow started 10 or so games. He did play a lot more in college. He had a better competition. Like, I get that there's not complete parallels, but bottom line is Trey Lance went through mental reps in an NFC playoff championship and all the way in the playoffs. Burrow didn't. Burrow got to play more games, but Lance still played games, started to, won a game, won a very important game against the Texans, who just beat the Bengals, and there's playoff implications for that win. And so I don't look at Trey Lance's rookie year as a complete nothing. I look at it as a very good developmental year. I look at Trey Lance, given his weapons and given the experience he had and the mental reps he had, all of it, the total package, I look at him being just as equipped and prepared as Burrow was coming into his season last year with a torn ACL and lesser weapons. So make no mistake, don't twist up what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you put it all together, Trey Lance with the weapons, with the little experience last season, with the lesser college experience, but all the talent and the surrounding talent and where the team's at, I put him in as good, if not better, situation walking into year 2 than Burrow had. And that's coming from somebody that predicted the Bengals to do what they did. Your boy Smitty said that they would win the division. Your boy Smitty got clowned. I saw the vision of what Burrow could become, even though he was going to struggle with the ACL and the team being in a form of still needing to build up to what they ended up becoming. I feel like Lance will walk in and drop straight fire. Jimmy can't throw until probably July. I would say late July, mid-July. That means Trey Lance is commanding the offense with the ones the entire time. And I'm not scared of him not blowing Jimmy G out of the water. Trey Lance is going to look so good. If he can't beat out Jimmy G, who's not even throwing, he's not the guy. But he is the guy, and he's going to prove it. Not worried at all. Would I rather Jimmy not be on the roster? I would, because I'd rather just not have Shanahan be tempted in some weird injury situation, which could be the case maybe, but...
Smitty, what's up, buddy? I got one for you. Do you think KJ Hamler will have some sneaky late round value? Thanks, buddy.
I've been pretty high on Hamler. I've talked about him quite a bit, so I don't know if you've seen that before. It doesn't sound like you have, but I've talked him up. But the problem is he's coming back from an ACL tear, so he's kind of a wait and see. Now, wide receivers can come back from ACL tears a lot quicker. Look at Cooper Kupp when he tore his ACL. He had a good year that year, then he came back and had this monster year. So torn ACLs, receivers can weather through that. I think Hamler's so talented, it just comes down to health. If he can get healthy and on the field, I think he can grab the wide receiver 3 role. And then if let's say Judy or Sutton went down, this dude could step right in and just have like a monster finish to the year. But it could be slow moving from the get-go, from the beginning, from the jump. Appreciate all the voice messages you guys have left. You guys rock. Let's hit over to the voicemails. Now we're going to the call-in portion of the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Let's take your phone calls. Dial in. The phone number is 602-635-3664. That is 602 NFL Dong.
Call into the show. Dial 602 NFL Dong.
We've got a good 10 minutes of phone call answering. So dial in, do it live. If you guys got any more voicemails, I will keep answering those in between the calls if you want to drop them. Your boy Smitty's still here for you. So drop them if you've got them. Monday, man, these Mondays come real quickly. It was just Friday. How many more Mondays do we have until kickoff? Anybody want to calculate that for me? How many more Mondays do we have until kickoff of week 1? Somebody get on that for me. Let me know. In the chat, we've got a few questions here. Hamler, great late round dynasty flyer, says Brandon. I agree. I think Jimmy is gone. 49ers have brought in 2 backup QBs. It is weird that they drafted Purdy with that irrelevant pick, the last pick in the draft, but I still think that Shanahan's capable, very capable of keeping Jimmy on roster, because if Trey were to go down for 4 or 5 games, Shanahan, not you or me, Shanahan feels very confident in Jimmy G. So, Smitty, stop comparing Lance to Burrow in his first year. Not even close. I've already explained how it is close, Aaron. I've already detailed it and mapped it out in tremendous detail. It's you got to compare it, and that's why I said don't twist it up. You did exactly that. You twisted it.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
You twisted it, Aaron, because what I said was if you take everything and collectively pull it together, Burrow ACL tear, Aaron. I just said it. His ACL tear. The fact that this team had offensive line issues. There was a lot of problems headed his way. And your boy Smitty predicted Burrow to do what he did, Aaron. I have a little say and a little wiggle room when it comes to predicting what's going to be the next situation to look an awful lot like Burrow. If I'm the one that said that they win the division, Aaron, don't you think I'm the guy you turn to say, well, let's see you predict this again, Smitty. Who's the next Burrow? Who's the guy that everyone doubts going into the season? Nobody thought Burrow was going to win the division, but your boy Smitty. So if anybody's got say over it, Aaron, it's probably this guy right here. Because I just told you that Burrow was going to do that. I told you, Aaron, that he was going to do that. Lance is going to do it now. And then what you're going to come back and say to me when I talk about the 2023 version of somebody doing this? You can't compare Bobby Bill to Lance, Smitty. You know, it's the song and dance that I've done for 20 years. When I predict something crazy off of another player, you can't compare those players. Then when that player becomes that player, I can't compare that player to the next player. It's just a song and dance over and over and over. Buckle up, Aaron. Trey Lance is coming. He's the next Burrow. Burrow was the next Mahomes. I predicted Mahomes. I got the same reactions when I said Mahomes will be this. People said, you can't compare Mahomes yet to that guy. Mahomes hasn't done anything yet. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Rock out.
Rock out. What's up, pal?
I got another bold one for you.
Give me a real bold one, Rock out. I want to stand up from my chair. It's so bold. I'm ready.
Zack Allen has a chance to be top 12, possibly top 10 QB.
Who?
Zach Wilson.
Top 10, top 12? I'm not going to stand up, but I like it. I mean, it's bold. That's a lot bolder. That's a lot bolder. I think Zach Wilson definitely has some upside. There's a lot of risk, which is why it makes it bold, but a lot of upside. This kid's the real deal. He's got the moxie. He looks the part. He's got the weapons. The team's going to turn into they're the next Bengals, People laughed at that. Rockout, you were with me all year last year when I said the Bengals were the next Bengals.
Yeah.
Jets are that team. The Jets are in Bengal mode.
I see what they're doing.
I see what they're doing too. What else you got? Give me another bold one. Reach deep.
Reach deep. Let me think. Let's see.
You like Waddle over Tyreek Hill in Dynasty?
Waddle over who?
Tyreek Hill in Dynasty.
Yeah, I could go with that.
Which one?
Waddle.
Yeah, I have a draft right now I'm doing. It's actually with the voicemail group that we have here. Are you in that one?
Yeah.
Okay, you're in that. Okay. Sorry, I forgot who was in it. I took Waddle over Tyreek Hill. It was a little uncomfortable, but I wanted the long-term value, and so I drafted Waddle over Tyreek Hill. It just felt awkward, but I think that Hill, he's 28 years old. He's played a lot of years. He's always kind of banged up and playing banged up. And I feel like with those fast, speedy guys, and Waddle's one of them, so he might have to worry about this when he turns 28. But he's young. He's 20. What is he? 23? I think Waddle's like 23. When you get to like 28, 29 years old, you start having hamstring issues, man, because you're firing at a different speed, playing at a different level. I worry about Hill being one of those guys that can be elite at 30, 31, 32. Because some wide receivers can, but the speedy guys, like think Deshaun Jackson, they come in, they look insane for a couple games, and they tear a hamstring. You know, so I worry about Hill's long-term value, and that's why I hesitated on that. I was curious. I want to pick your brain on that.
And he got hurt a couple of times the last couple of years with like leg and hamstring issues.
Yes, sir.
Like the last couple of years. And I think Waddle will have a little bit of rapport, well, at least from the start of the season.
Yes, sir. All right, anything else?
That's it for right now.
All right, dial back if you got another question. The lines will be open for the next 5, 6, 7 minutes. All right.
All right.
Later. Appreciate you, man. Let's rock out. Terry Roberts with a super chat. Best player available. Oh, best player available is what Terry meant. Teacher Smitty, you're the man. Yeah, Terry's been really deploying the best player available, and he's been loving it. His draft is phenomenal. In that follower league that I'm doing, it's a follower league. I don't do very many of them. We've got the 96 team league, and then we've got a couple existing dynasty leagues I started from the beginning of the show when we first got on YouTube, and I've stayed in those. I haven't left those as a dynasty. But I don't create very many new leagues anymore because I can't handle too many leagues. I got to cut back on them. But I did do one follower league with the people to reward everyone that was in the voicemail group. I warned everyone you're going to want to get in this voicemail group that you hear a lot of these messages come from. We did a league, and everybody that was in the group was invited, and it was the first 12 to join. And Terry drafted Javonte. I think it was like pick 3 or 4, 5 in Dynasty. He got Javonte, he got Burrow, he got DK. He's got a nice little squad there. I traded up. I did some massive trades. I'll go over the draft at the end. They call me the league ender for a reason. My nickname is the league ender, and I can't tell you how many leagues I've ended. And I know that sounds funny, and you probably think I'm joking, but I can't tell you how many leagues I have ended in my career, not my professional career, my entire fantasy football career, which is about, I don't know, I would say it's about 27, 28 years long. I've ended so many leagues I can't even count because I do this crazy draft pick trading stuff that drives people up the wall, and then they end up like leaving the league. So we got to keep the league together, but I literally trade like no other. I make trades like no one you've ever seen, and I'm going to prove it when I show you the draft and how I do things. I ended up trading a whole bunch. I traded up and I got 3 picks in the top 12. So your boy Smitty, I got a lot of my sleepers though. I took Breece Hall, I took Kenneth Walker, and then I took God, I'm blanking on my team already. There's so many leagues. Who did I take at 13? Took Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and Kyle Pitts. I took Kyle Pitts early, but I wanted to cornerstone all these positions. So that was my start of the Dynasty draft. So pretty excited about that. Gavin with a super chat. Gavin said, thoughts on Christian Watson in Dynasty? I like him a lot, bro. The problem is he's going to have to be developed and ready to roll by the time Aaron Rodgers bails and gets out of there, and then who's going to be the quarterback there. So I'm a little worried about that, but you know what? Let's not freak out about the future too much. Let's enjoy his 1 or 2 years of development. I think Aaron Rodgers, who usually brings rookies along slowly, Aaron Rodgers will speed his progress along because the wide receiver room is very, very dry. Yeah, maybe Aaron Rodgers does bring rookies along slowly normally. This is not normal. This is a different situation. but I'm loaded with picks next year, says the Bruce. The Bruce, he did some trades. There's Aaron going off again about Lance. He just can't accept it. He's a Jimmy G believer, I think. Lance couldn't beat out Jimmy G in his first year. Lance has potential, but not even close to Burrow's skill set. Let's not get crazy here. It's these comments, Aaron, that are crazy to me. Like, you really think Jimmy G beat out Trey Lance? You don't know what's going on in San Francisco. That's a ridiculous statement. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. What can I do you for? See you later. Call back. I love when people think that Lance didn't beat him out. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Rock out.
Rock out. What's up, pal?
What's your thoughts on Swift possibly being like a top 7, top 5?
Swift? Yeah. I mean, I almost took him in the league at the Kyle Pitts pick. Like, I struggled between Swift and Kyle Pitts. And I think Swift is probably most people's pick there. Like, I think most people would maybe even call me crazy for passing on Swift for Kyle Pitts. But I just think that it depends how you want to build in Dynasty, because running backs have that very short shelf life. I'm concerned about his injury history anyway. Like, I think he can be a top 5, top 6 running back this year. I really do. I really think this is going to be the year. The red flags that were there last year have been consolidated down to just the injury red flag. He had situational red flag. Anthony Lynn didn't want to start him. Campbell didn't want to. No one wanted to start him. Like, both the coach and the OC were like, "This is our number 2 back." And it mixed that with injury, and there was a lot of red flags. And people were taking him at like 12 or 13 at the beginning of the offseason. That's when I said, no, not 12 overall. 3rd round, sure. And he proved to be worth about that 3rd round value if you throw wide receivers and a couple quarterbacks and then all the running backs. He proved to get that like 2.12 to 3.2 value. Like, he got that back for you if you drafted him there. But you didn't. You probably, if you drafted Swift last year, you took him at 12 to 14, 12 to 15. It was just a little risky. But this year, I like him. The problem is with his injury risk, and given how short the shelf life is for running backs, his dynasty value, I worry people are overvaluing him a little bit in dynasty. I feel like when people put him in like the top 5, that concerns me. I think there are safer wide receivers that are longer lasting. You know, Chase, Justin Jefferson, and then obviously the Najee, Javonte, all those guys, obviously JT. I just don't take Swift in that 5 range. At like 12, I like him. He's decent. I considered him. But I just like Pitts more for some reason.
Yeah, I try to target him like early 2nd round, see if I can get him there.
I mean, Pitts had a 1,000-yard wide receiver season with 1 touchdown. I'm not saying his quarterback, like, I was praying for Watson to go there, bro. But Ritter could be the real deal. We'll see. If not, they'll draft somebody or they'll trade for somebody. I think they wanna make moves. They clearly were trying to go after Watson. So if Ritter doesn't feel like the guy, they'll make a move, I think. But imagine if Pitts gets like 10 TD. Once he gets into the double-digit touchdown category, it's game over.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Jimmy Graham, or in the case of Kelsey, this is Kelsey. This is a 1st-round potential tight end that I don't like drafting tight ends early. But when we're talking dynasty and you're talking like in the build, people don't know what I did with my team, but I traded up and got a lot of picks right there. It depends on the way I'm building. I'll take them. I'll take Pitts early. It just depends on how I'm building. What else?
What's your value on Sam Brown with Williams being there, at least the 2nd half of the year?
With who?
Sam Brown with Williams being drafted.
Oh, St. Brown.
Yeah.
You know, I like St. Brown a lot. I just feel like, it's always hard seeing a really good player that you feel is the wide receiver 1 land in a spot. Like, example, Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore and St. Brown, very similar upside, if you will. Very big finishes to the year. St. Brown, there probably were no better finishers than St. Brown and Elijah Moore at the wide receiver position in fantasy football. I bet you if you looked it up, they would both be in the top 3 or 4 for points per game scored in a certain portion of the end of the season, straight out. Like St. Brown lasts like 6 games or whatever, probably top 3 wide receiver, top 4. I don't know if that's accurate, but I would guess it would be. And same thing for Elijah Moore. He finished on a tear. And then you get both of them get arguably the top 2 rookie wide receivers from a pretty darn good draft class land on those teams, on those rosters. It just sucks because St. Brown, he's got to be limited. He's got to be, because Jameson Williams is so good. So I would say like St. Brown's ability to climb into like the 11 to 15 overall, probably gone. I think he could be a high-end wide receiver too, potentially. I think Elijah Moore's got a better shot at maybe still being the number 1 in New York. I like Garrett Wilson. I'm not saying he's not good, but I've never loved him as much as everybody else. And I think Elijah Moore might have something to say about who's the number 1 elite wide receiver for the future. Elijah Moore could still grab that job.
Yeah, I could probably see Moore over St. Brown, better pass.
Yeah. Moore's exciting, bro. Looks like we got some breaking news buzzing on my phone here. Sony Michel to the Dolphins. I don't know how I feel about that one. Man, what Mike Miami Mike he does a lot of interesting moves. Like yet another running back. Dolphins sign running back Sony Michel. That's just, I mean, he's got Gaskin, he's got Mostert, he's got Edmonds, he's got Sony Michel now. It's crazy. I don't know how he's gonna. I mean, it couldn't hurt, but I know it's over time. But Mrs. Robeson wants to phone in. Okay, yeah, dial in. The Bruce's mom wants to dial in. Do it. All right. Rock out hung up. Rock out. I was still gonna say bye to you. Sorry. Rock out just disconnected. Rock out deuced. He said deuces. Okay, Miss Robeson, the Bruce, dial up. Michelle and Edmund show? No. God, Aaron, we disagree on so much, bro. Michelle, you think Michelle's gonna be the starter in Miami, bro? Come on, man. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Is this the Bruce and Mrs. Bruce?
Yes, it is.
How's it going? Can we get a baked in, boys?
Yeah. Baked in.
Yeah. What can I do for you? I just want to say I'm glad you won your league. I remember Mrs. Robeson when we were talking. I was talking through the Bruce. We call him the Bruce on the channel. We were talking to him and advised you to make that Mahomes trade, which I think helped you win your league. So congratulations. What other dilemmas do you have for me?
She went to go cook dinner, but her dilemma is she has a super flex, but we got her the Mahomes trade, right?
Yep.
But her other 2 quarterbacks are Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott. But
okay.
She's a Kirk Cousins is her guy. She loves Kirk Cousins.
She likes him over Dak, huh?
So she wants to know if she can keep Kirk Cousins over Dak.
No. I mean, if you're gonna do that, I'm not saying Kirk Cousins can't have a good year. He's got Jefferson, so he's gonna have a lot of potential, right? But you got to trade Dak. You can't let Dak go. Like, is this a certain number of players that you're keeping, or can she trade Dak?
I think you can keep 3, but I think she's keeping Judy. And it's super flex.
Yeah. If I were her, I would trade Dak for a better keeper than Judy. That's what I would do. But I personally don't. I would keep Dak. That's me. I'm not keeping Cousins over Dak. I think Dak could have a big year.
Okay.
I think that Cowboys offense was one of the top 3, if not the number 1, I think, for most of the year. Last year, they score a lot of points. I mean, it's hard to turn down a quarterback that's in a top 3 offensive, arsenal. So I'm gonna say I keep Dak and I keep Mahomes. And then who's the third keeper? You said Judy.
Yeah, Judy.
I like Judy, but what other players does she have?
She has. I think she has Javonte. She has. Who else does she have?
She's keeping Javonte, right?
No, you can only keep 3. She was keeping Judy because it was PPR. I don't know why she didn't want to keep Javonte. She wanted to keep Jerry Judy. She was high on Jerry Judy.
No. All this hard work, the Bruce, that we plugged into you, and you're misguiding your mother right now. You can't let her throw Javonte Williams. This is a simple numbers game, okay?
Well,
if you throw, hold on, listen, the Bruce. This is gonna be a tough lesson.
All right.
If you throw Javonte back into the player pool, he gets gobbled up like that. If you throw Judy back into the player pool, there's a really strong chance you can still draft him back. That right there is the question you ask yourself as to what player you keep, what player you don't keep. You cannot keep Jerry Judy over Javonte Williams, who's a potential top 5 overall player that's getting a lot of bad press right now that, yes, is driving his value down, but Javonte's value is probably like 18 to 20 overall, which is ridiculous. It's a steal, but it is what it is. His ADP is probably 18 to 20. Judy's ADP is probably around 6. You can't keep. Your mother has a phenomenal group of 3 players to keep. I'm okay if you trade Dak Prescott away for something and keep Cousins, but you have to utilize Dak. You can't just let him go. Otherwise, you keep Mahomes, you keep Dak, you keep Javonte, and you probably have the 3 best keepers in your entire league.
Yeah, well, I tried, and what she said was I like Judy, and I have the 4th pick. And this is what she told me. I'm going to take the 4th pick on Javonte, if he's still there. The 4th overall pick, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm going to take the 4th pick on him.
Look, I'm not going to argue. God. I'm not going to argue with Miss Robeson. Okay, this is a legend on the show, but I will say that I strongly advise that you keep Javonte Williams, Dak Prescott, and Mahomes. And if you want to keep Cousins, you keep them, but you've got to trade Dak, and Dak's going to get you something like a move up, like move her 4 pick to the 1 pick and give the person Dak Prescott. Go see who the person at the 1 pick and the 2 pick are. If they've got no quarterback or a really bad 3rd keeper, they'll take Dak Prescott to swap you picks, and now you've got the number 1 overall pick. Like, you've got to utilize Dak Prescott. You can't just give gold out. Someone will take the gold in a super flex and upgrade you. You will get an upgrade. You will find somebody that will upgrade you. Even if you find a team that doesn't have like a 1st rounder or some weird, like, you can move your 3rd or 4th rounder up to the 2nd, like a big move up, getting rid of Dak Prescott. But if it's me, I venture to say your mom has probably the best or 2nd best group of 3 players to keep in the entire draft, and she could draft Judy back in the 1st round, which would be a mistake. I'm just saying, keep Javonte. No one's grabbing Judy in that 1st round, man. Nobody.
No.
Nobody.
Well, I even told her that she could keep Dak, and she could probably have a better chance at redrafting Cousins than she would Dak Prescott.
Yeah, you could get Cousins and Judy back for a ham sandwich later. So I'm Miss Robeson, the court has decided that it would be contempt-like to let Javonte go and Dak Prescott. So that's my answer. Do what you want with it. Do what you want with it, Miss Robeson. You're always welcome here, and we're certainly not going to make you take a lap. But that is, I would have made any other person besides Miss Robeson, because she's a legend. She's lap free on this show. She'll never have to take a lap in her life on this show. She gets a lap out of free card. But I would have made someone else take 15 laps on that question to Bruce. I may have banned somebody for an entire week of watching the show. No show for you for letting Javonte go over Judy. And that's on you, Bruce. You are in control of helping and guiding your mother. Your mother raised you. Your mother raised you and brought you into this world, and you're dropping the ball. And I've got somebody here. Aaron says maybe you're trying to scoop up Javonte in that league, which I'm starting to wonder, Bruce, if that's your motive here.
Hey, I'm not in that league. I'm not in that league.
Okay. Never mind.
I'm not in that league.
Ignore that. But yeah, hey.
I did get blocked by your boy Lombardo because I told him to take laps about the comments about Hurts and
Lombardo blocked
Lance.
Maybe he blocked me. I should check. Maybe he blocked me. Let me go look.
He blocked me too.
Let me see if he blocked me. I don't know. I'll check.
Yeah, he blocked me because
the Bruce. I'm telling you right now. Do whatever you can to try and talk your mom into keeping Javonte. Let her know that even if she wants to, it's ill-advised to go after Judy at high value because you can get him later. It's not that I don't like Judy. You just can get him later. But make her keep Javonte and let her draft Judy back high. It's a no-brainer. All right, I got to go, Bruce. Appreciate you, man.
Yep, thank you.
Tell your mother thank you. She's a legend.
I will.
All right, that's the Bruce. That was a hard one for me because I didn't want to be hard on Miss Robeson because she's been so good to the show. But you can't throw when I was tempted to not even ask, like, what other keepers do you have? Because if Judy's your third keeper, that's an okay keeper. I like Judy, but that's an okay keeper. He's like Javonte. I should have asked what other players. I just kind of stopped them. Maybe maybe JT was on the roster. The Bruce, get it together and guide your mother a little better in this league, the Bruce. Is Javonte the GOAT? Just wait. Just wait. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody here. Phone lines are closed. Cooper Cup League. I got to touch on this real quick before we leave. Give this a watch if you haven't. We have the Cooper Cup League approaching. We're about 20 days away, and we've got about 15 spots still open. We need to fill them pretty quickly. So if you want in, anybody that's super chatting $20 or more on the show gets into this league. It's not an entry fee of any kind, but you do. The prizes are amazing. We have an amazing trophy going to first place. We have this trophy going to first place. Where is it? This trophy is going to first place, as well as this like $150 to like $300 ring is going to the winner. It's customized with the year and your name. See, this one says Smitty on it. You're going to be able to, where is it? There we go. This says Smitty on it. You're going to be able to customize this ring. And you can pick between, like, there's like $150 to $300 versions that they have. They're just all a little bit different. Comes in an amazing box. You're getting that. You're getting this trophy right here. And you're also getting an autographed Joe Montana, Jerry Rice Hall of Fame red helmet. And then other prizes are rolling in. Again, all you got to do is drop a $20 super chat at any point during the time of this time right now and when the 15 spots get grabbed. And I will play. I don't have the video queued up right now. I'll play it next time. But if you want to get in on that, DM me on Instagram too, and I can walk you through how to do it. Versus a super chat if you want to do it another way. Appreciate everybody being here. But Bruce, man, Bruce got me worked up. 7 p.m. Eastern every Monday through Friday, we are live here on the Fantasy Football Show. So know that you have a daily source of NFL news, notes, and fantasy football. We cover it Monday through Friday. I am your guy. We're live. I also comment, reply to every comment on my channel. We hit 11K. Congratulations to all of you. I work for you. I will reply to every single comment, so please drop a comment, drop a like. Let's get to 20K this year. I think we can do it, and then onward. And as we get bigger, things will get better. More giveaways, all kinds of amazing stuff. All right, Robert, appreciate you. Leave a comment, leave a like. Yes, I will live stream the Cooper Cup draft of portions of it, because it'll be a two-month-long draft. But DM me on Instagram if you want in. Appreciate you, the Bruce and Mrs. Robeson.